Good morning, folks. We're back at it. So today is the 19th. I recorded yesterday's session. Honestly, I didn't upload it because it was pretty lame. I might still upload it. Basically, I had a super bad day, honestly, and I was pretty quiet throughout the whole thing because I was very disappointed with myself. Um, so yeah, that's why I didn't upload it. I was just super disappointed with myself, and I took way more trades than I should have. Um, and I've learned my lesson. So I've kind of, regrouped, right? Regrouped with myself, I guess. And I've decided to kind of implement something that's simple for risk management. And I want to put it here on record because I just don't, I'm tired of making the same mistakes, man. And I have to understand that, like, you know, these things, like trading takes time. You know what I mean? It's not like a rich quick scheme. So I have to understand that, and I have to understand that I'm not gonna become rich overnight. So cause the reason behind me taking so many trades, it's really because I want to. I've been on this challenge for like a month. Okay, so I've been essentially break even for the past month with my 10K funded account, and then I have, which is that 10K is already passed. That one's already funded. I just haven't been able to make a withdrawal because they have a 40% consistency rule, which basically means I have to get my best trading day was like $400, which is 4%. So the way they do it is the way they apply that 40% consistency is I'll show you guys here. So they get that 400 and then they divide it by 40%. So I have to make this amount on that 10K for me to be able to withdraw. Okay. And right now I'm a break even on both accounts. So on the truly funded account, and then on the other one, which I'm doing the challenge, the phase one. And since I've been on it for a month, I almost put pressure on myself, like, man, I should have already completed this, or I should have made, I should have done XYZ. When in reality, it's like, well, the reason why you're still in break even, the reason why you're still haven't been able to complete that challenge or even make your first withdrawal is because you have that mindset, because you take ridiculous risk that doesn't make any sense. You don't risk manage properly, and I think that's what I'm missing. Because as far as the strategy, I think I got it down, pretty down pack. I mean, it's not that hard, really. Like, technicals is probably the easiest part about trading. The hard part is really maintaining, maintaining like a long-term mindset, and like understanding that, like, and also understanding that you're not gonna win every day. That's another thing. So basically, the risk management that I've put is like what I'm gonna go for, right? So my max stop loss are gonna be 25 ticks. Okay, that's gonna be my max. With that 25 ticks, I'm gonna be risking around. Well, around. I know I will be risking around 0.9%. And then my max TP. So the reason why I'm set up a max TP is because it's happened where, like, I'll take a trade and I'll set like some ridiculous TP, right? Like, I'll set it up here or something. I don't know. Let's say like this is a ridiculous TP, right? And so what would happen is, like, I will move my stops. Like, let's say it goes in profit. It hits my TP1, but I'm like, I agreed, right? Because I want more. I want to have like one of those days where I make, 5% in a day, and it's like, that's pretty unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? So what would happen is, like, I would move my stops to break even, and like I was like, okay, let's just, let's take our profits up here. Like, let's say, for example, candle comes in, and then like in like literally a couple candles, it hits my first TP, which is when I should get out. But then I agreed because I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit more, and then sometimes the trade does this. It goes up and then goes down, hits my break even, and that's happened quite often. And I think, like, the goal should not be to stay on the markets for a long time. The goal should be to leave the markets quick. So I'm coming in today with a bit of a different mindset, which is I'm trying to get out of the charts as soon as possible, right? So typically in the past few days, I've spent, like, on average, like, around 2 hours on the charts. So today I want to, like, leave quick. Like, I want to just be here for maybe 40, 50 minutes, maybe an hour, at least, as the least time possible, basically. That's kind of my mindset coming into this today. So yeah, let's just see what happened. Also, just in general for today, like what I'm expecting is for us to come up to some of these levels up here. Expecting probably to come up to this 5 minutes would be like, you know, the TP for the day. But again, I'm only going for 55 ticks. That's what I'm taking in for today. I'm not gonna take more than that. I'm just leaving it at that so I can learn patience. I can learn that I'm not gonna you know, make the whole account in one day, right? Or make that 8% that I need for to pass phase 1 in one day. It's gonna take time, and I have to understand that, because that's a more realistic scenario, you know. So I'm gonna limit my TPs to just 55 ticks, basically. That's what I'm trying to get to. Also, in terms of trades, if I take a W, the first trade, if I take a W, I call it a day. That's it. Because I've noticed this is also something that I've, you know, I kind of noticed it when I was like kind of looking into this yesterday, and I noticed like for the past week, my first trade has always been a W. Every single time it's a W. But then there comes the second, and the second, it's funny because the second trade I usually don't lose that much. You know, I lose like a very small amount. But then the third trade I lose, and then like now I'm kind of stuck in this cycle where I'm trying to make back the profits that I had when I could have just left the market in the first place and just, you know, kept it at a profit, you know, at a W day, right? So that has been really the biggest issue as well. That has been a really big issue actually. So I'm actually, if I take a W, I call it a day, my first trade. Now if I take an L, I'm able to take one more trade. If it's a break even, a W, or an L, I call it a day no matter what. Okay, so that's kind of the plan. So 2 trades max. If the first trade does play out, then that's it. I call it from then. All right, that's it. And then yeah, for today I am expecting for price to come up. I don't see price reflipping, so the only way I would look for sales is if we close like down below these areas on within the next 30 minutes. I don't see that happening because it looks like we just took a bunch of liquidity here on some of these levels here. Let's go to the 30-minute. So yeah, we took all these lows, right? We took here, we kind of took this as well. Yeah, we took quite a bit of liquidity, so I just don't see price coming all the way down here realistically. So here comes the 5-minute. We are in a gap here in the 5-minute, so you could expect this to go up for sure. Let me mark the 5-minute breaker structure just to have it there. So I mean 5-minute would be right here actually. This will be 5-minute breaker structure. There's also another 5-minute right here, breaker structure. To be fair, I can't really get in on this. This is too big of stops, as you can see. So I have to wait for a better setup. Ideally, we make a gap here. Ideally. Let's see what happens though. Basically, all I need price to do right now is to get this 5-minute and try to close above this range here. Because if we close above that, we're now in bullish structure, and I can just look for a retest. So something like this, right? And let's say we close above, just look for a retest for us to go up. But let's see what it does. It looks like it's kind of going down right now. So I mean, man, is it really gonna come all the way down here? That's kind of crazy if it does do that. I don't see that happening though. I really don't. I'm expecting price to reflip here. We're still respecting this gap here on this 5-minute. Like if you look in the 5, there's a little gap there. It's nothing too crazy, but It is a small gap. Okay. That's a really big push, holy. Yeah, there's no news today, which is good. Okay, so looking at a couple things now. Let's see how this candle closes. Okay, I was gonna say if it makes a gap, we could just wait for the inverse, but it looks like it's just gonna go up. So this is typically I do like to wait, like before I even consider entering a trade, I do like to wait like at least 5 minutes after 9:30 opens, because this is, this is what happens within that 9:30. It's just craziness, It's weird candles, like you don't really know what's gonna happen if you're taking a trade within like as soon as 9:30 opens, you're essentially gambling at that point. I feel like this is gonna close engulfing, which is cool. That gives us confirmation that we're probably gonna keep going up. Probably, ideally, this next candle pushes up and closes above this red line. As long as it does close above, I'll look for a retest right here. Wait for an engulfing candle. And then I'll take my profits, depending, I guess, on 55 ticks, wherever. Obviously, it has to make sense, but yeah, let's see what happens. It looks like we may or may not close. Let's see. Look at the 5 real quick. Oh, that's such a crazy candle. That's such a crazy candle, man. It looks like it's not gonna actually close above, which is interesting. Maybe. No. Now, I will say we technically are closing respecting this 5-minute gap, technically. So there's some potential. There's some potential. I don't know what to. Honestly, I kind of want to wait. Because like the thing is, even if I get above here, let's say, it's actually not a horrible buy. I may possibly enter off the engulfing because we close respecting this gap. So if this candle, yeah, possible. If this candle were to close above here, I'm actually consider taking this buy. Oh, let me open my live account on my. Yeah, so it goes above here. 9 seconds. Okay. Alright, we're doing it. Did I hit buy? I don't know why I bought so late on my freaking 10k. Okay, whatever. So let's set this up real quick. Man, that's crazy. These are big stops actually. God damn it. Okay, I'm moving my stops to break even because I got in a little bit later than I would have wanted. Let me just move my stops to break even. Alright, break even. Okay. So I'm gonna break even right now. My tick profit is gonna be 55 ticks. So we're talking about right about here. So that's it, and then let's go ahead and do the same here. Okay. I have to break even just because my stops are so big. If it hits my stops, it's like it is what it is. Either way, I don't want to be like Yeah, it sucks that I got in so late on my 10K account. Whatever. It really depends on this candle if we keep going up or not. Okay, so we hit break even on my 10K. Let's see if my 100K. Okay, we hit break even. All right. So that's one trade. So we have one more trade to go. But this is why we break even here, guys. There is a gap here, so I could potentially look to re-enter. As long as we close respecting this gap. Like, I would have probably have to had set up my stops like here. Okay, so that's first closure there. Potential entries here again. The reason why you want to break even here is because you don't know if price is just going to keep going down, right? Like, at the end of the day, you don't know if price is going to respect that gap. And plus, stops were bigger than I would have wanted. Because I usually put my stops below the lows. And I couldn't really put it, there's 31 ticks. So as long as we close above here, we could just re-enter, honestly. So I'm going to be ready just in case. Oops. About 18 seconds left on it. Well, hang on. No. Stop that, senor. Alright, and I'm going in. Run. Wait. Okay, no engulfing, so no entries for me there. That's why you wait for closures, huh? Yeah, there's no engulfing. Let's look at the 5 real quick, because this is a new 5 minute. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I would have been back in profits now, and fair enough. I mean, for this trade, I wouldn't have gotten stopped out just yet. I would have probably moved my stops down to below here at this point. It's still scary though, you know, having to like go through that. Because again, you just don't know if it's gonna keep driving down. Damn, that's crazy. Okay. Whoa, chill. We might have to just call it a freaking day. That's a freaking ridiculous 5 minute. Look at this thing. Golly, okay. That would have hit our TPs 100%. So yeah, that sucks. I think breaking even there was okay though. I don't see a scenario where I don't know why it took so long for me to enter though. It was so weird. If I would have entered like as soon as it closed, I would have had nice stops and I would have probably held this a bit longer. Kinda sucks. Whatever. It is what these. Yeah, so price is kind of making a gap here. Let's see if it does. Looks like it will. So we made this gap, so I just need price to come down and hit this gap, and then we look for entries on there. So we have one more trade in our book, so we want to make sure it's a good trade. Yeah, this is a really crazy 5 minute. Look at this thing. Doo-doom, doo-doom. Come on, come on. This is kind of good, like, because I'm expecting the next 5. Because usually, again, this candle is it's rare that a candle does this, where it just pushes up and no bottom wick. So I'm expecting this next 5 to come down and, you know, make a bottom wick, ideally in, you know, obviously in this within this gap. If we do that, we could again look for entries. I do need it to hit that gap though. If it doesn't hit that gap, I cannot look for entries just yet. But interesting how price respected this, right? Like we see price closed and then it respected it. So I'm expecting this to at least come down before actually driving up. So come down, touch this gap, give us some type of engulfing candle, and then we drive up. Yep. Okay. Okay, hopefully we don't go too low. Let's see. 9 seconds left on this. Okay, there it is. It's a pretty big push. I don't know if I would, even if it engulfs this, I don't know if I'd get in on that. Oh, it's such a big push. I would have to wait for the following candle to come down, and then I could enter, potentially. If it engulfs it even. Damn, I kind of want to do that, but it's kind of risky doing that as well. I was thinking of like potentially taking the break of the highs. Oh, hang on. Okay. This is good. This is good that we didn't get an entry on this one, honestly. Really big stops. $11 seconds. Hopefully this candle closes bearish, man. That would be really good. Especially if it closes like how it is now. Like, yes, okay. Good, good, good. Let me open this up. Bing, bing. We needed to close above here, basically. That's what I'm looking at. These are pretty decent stops as well. What, 30 seconds left, right? On the candle. Yeah, 20. 20 segundos left toe. Okay, we didn't get the closure that we wanted. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna have to wait. New 5 comes in. Oh my god. New 5 comes in within this next 1 minute. There's also a gap here, so we kind of want to be slightly careful with that. Want to see how it reacts off of this, and then hopefully we come down to make a bottom wick prior to us driving up. Okay. All right. It's 5 seconds left. If this candle closes bearish, that'll be pretty fantastic. Okay, that's good. So I could potentially enter on the engulfing here. If it gives us an engulfing, at that point we're not really expecting price to react off of this gap, you know. We're gonna hit the buy very soon, as long as we close above there. Okay. Is that engulfing? I can't really tell. Not really. Yeah, that's not really an engulfing candle. Well, that sucks. Or does it suck? Oh, the body got stopped out already. Yeah, for sure I would have gotten stopped out. So W patience, honestly. We noticed it wasn't engulfing, so we just didn't get in. Some people were like, oh, you know, that isn't engulfing, and it's like, oh no, it's not, if you really like look into it. Oh man, this would be a great entry here off of this break. That would be a great entry. So let's move this here. Okay. 10 seconds left. 3. Alright, we're getting boom, boom, boom. That's for sure an engulfing, yeah? Okay. Cool. Stops are going to be below here, I would say. Okay, so we have everything set up. Let's see what this next 5 does. If it rebreaks its own highs, I'm moving my stops below here. So that's gonna be the next thing. Okay, now I guess it'll be below here. Oh shit, it hit my stops, I think. Oh, that's fucking awkward. It hasn't technically hit it. It actually hit my stops on the 100k account, which sucks. Which I guess I give it a little bit more padding room here. Oh, that sucks, dude. Oh. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should re-enter on my 100k so I could be in line with this, you know? I might. If this candle closes engulfing, I will. If not, then I won't. Yeah, because for all I know, I could just drive down now, so. Okay. Well, good thing we did not enter on the 100k. Because that stopped us out. Yep. Well, that sucks. Yeah, there is a gap there actually. Within here. Yeah, I think the trade today was here, man. This is like just perfect setup right here. I had to break even. Stops were so freaking big, and I was scared that price was just gonna go down. Like just drive down with this candle and just ignore this gap. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, so we are within this gap. See how this 5 minute closes. So it's a new 11 coming in. Okay, there it is. Dude, it just drives up so much. Of course it does. Just about 10 seconds left on this. I mean, yeah, I have to put my stops, I would say, like, right around here. This is my 25, right? Okay, 25 is like right here. I think the 5 minute high has been broken. Oh, just need to break this high right here. I may genuinely hold it till there, because Okay, I'm closing. Closing and closing. I'm closing here as well. Okay. Oh, there's that. I closed it because a little bit early, because on my, yeah, I think I marked the wrong one actually. Oh, I just pushed up too. Nice. Okay, so yeah, we're calling it a day there, boys. Yeah, I marked the wrong one. I was supposed to mark this one, not this one. I guess it worked either way in our favor, but yeah, I know. I don't know. It's just like this break even. That's the thing about it. Like, I know I said 2 trades max, but I knew the entry was there. I don't know, man. I think it's not bad. I think it was okay, just because I had a break even trade. So I feel like it was. I felt okay taking this risk. But I think in the overall picture, and the thing is, like, that first trade, it should have played out. It's just that, like, I entered super weird. Like, I don't know why sometimes it takes so much for, or it takes so long for this thing to like actually enter on trades. But yeah, that's a pretty quick trade. That was good. All in all, it was good. I would say, yeah, man, like, I got in here. This is a perfect trade, to be fair. Like, this was like, let's see if I would have gotten in like somewhere here. Let's say, you know, yeah, because my stops were. Wait, I'm confused. Yeah, because I think I got like somewhere up here or something like that. Yeah, I think this is what happened. I got in somewhere up here. Let's see, because I think it says it actually. So we bought at 50 or 4503, 45030. So we bought, yeah, literally right there where we have our thing. So our stops were a little bit too big, an extra 7 ticks. But I mean, this would have hit perfect, man. 55 right there, that would have hit perfect. If I would have just held. The thing is, like, with this strategy, since stops are so tight, it's a bit scary to like hold. It's a bit scary to trust FVGs like this, you know. I just have to be okay with it. I think, like, because at this point we either see a reaction or we don't, right? So I think the smart move is to break even, because again, we either see a reaction or we don't. If we don't, we get stopped out. If we do see a reaction, we win. So it's like, what are you willing to take that risk? In this case, I really wasn't, just because my stops were so big, and it was my first trade in the, you know, for today. But at least we got this dub here. We, you know, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a day for there. But yeah, pretty good. In general, it's a good day today. Like, when was my loss? My loss was here. I think, man, like, honestly, at this point is, I got in like I got it in this candle, I believe, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yes, I got in on this candle. It's already, at that time it was already 9:53. I feel like I should just wait until 10, because 10 is gonna open a new 4-hour. 10 usually 10 a.m. candle has a lot of volume because it opens a new 4-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour candle. So, you know, it has a lot of volume coming in. So I probably should have just waited at that point. It's hard to say. I mean, because for all I know, I could have seen like a reaction off of this. But yeah, I should have probably waited until 10 at that point, I think. And I should have also been a bit more aggressive here on these stops. So, because I shouldn't have lost this much. I should have probably just, what I should have done is like, okay, we got the engulfing, we got in, we see price create this bearish candle, and then we see the next candle actually break those highs. There's no reason for price to reflip and break the lows. So like at that point, because at that point, if it does break the lows, it's probably gonna drive to your stops, right? And that's exactly what happened. So, you know, what I would do here is what I should have done is I hit buy, you know, put my stops, whatever. We see this bearish candle. Okay, as soon as we break these highs, there's no reason for price to reflip back down and break the lows. We break the highs, we instantly move stops to here. That would have given us some decent entries, I think, or some decent, you know, I'm not losing that much at that point. Like let's say I get in as soon as we opened the new candle, right? So we're gonna stop out here, 11 ticks. That's not that much, right? So I would have potentially have closed, yeah, literally saving half. So I would have only lost like $40 around there. But yeah, all in all, it was a good day. I mean, we had the right direction for the markets. We knew it was gonna go up, just based on the market bias for today. We understood that like, hey, it's a very low likelihood that we close below this this range here. Because if we do close below here, then on this 8 to 10 a.m. candle, right? Because 9:30 brings out that big volume, so there was that chance. But we understood that it's very low chance that it does happen. So I'm gonna look for buys right off the get-go at 9:30. Typically, if I'm not sure, I'll wait until 10 a.m. to give us a better confirmation of what the true like direction of the market is. But yeah, we knew like that was very unlikely to happen. So I just started looking for trades, you know, within like 9:35 all the way to now. Yeah, good trading day, pretty decent. I just have to keep following this. That's it. It's boring. It's simple. That's what works. You know what I'm saying? Old me, like literally yesterday me, would have been like looking for more trades right now. But I'm done. I'm done for today. I've learned. You know what I'm saying? I've learned from my lesson. So yeah, it was a very nice trade actually. I kind of wanna let's mark some of these trades up. So I think my first trade was down here. My stops were here, but I got stopped out on break even. Or it was a little higher than this, really. Like it was probably like right here. But it hit break even. So I'm gonna write this for my journal. BE trade. All right. And then, but yeah, this would have hit, man. And then there was a trade here, I think. Yes, it was right here. As soon as it closed, I placed it, put my stops like right below here, because I didn't get hit by this candle. I got hit by this candle. So then I got stopped out there, and then a new hourly candle. I should have just waited for this hourly candle, because even if I missed this, like let's say this would have driven up, there's a new hourly candle coming in. I would have probably had another trade, just because there's a lot of volume that comes in at 10 a.m. So, and then I got in on this candle, on this engulfing here. Boom. My stops were, I think it was below there. I got a little bit higher than that. I think I put my stops somewhere around here. Then I have my TP target set to here. I set it up there, but I really closed it a little bit lower, like right there. And that happened within 3 minutes, which is wild. That's why I love this strategy. Just like quick trades, you know. But yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it for today, guys. I'm gonna call it a day there. You know, all of a sudden we went from, yeah, pretty much almost break even to now 2% in profit. That's how it's done. That's how it's done, boys. Yep. Let me just make sure before I leave here that I closed it on my trading live. On my live account. Okay, great. I did. Alright, awesome guys. But yeah, pretty much it for today, man. I think Well, it's interesting because if I would have taken partials, I would have probably already gotten stopped out here. So I think like I just take full. Yeah, I guess it's either I take partials and leave my stops at break even, and then like my next target would be up here probably, right? If I look left, because I'm trying. Yeah, it'll be right there. So I'm trying to think like in the future, once I'm out of this like little challenge that I'm doing to myself of like following my risk management. I wonder if I could have just like taken partials on this, and then essentially moving my stops to break even and letting the rest right up to here. I don't know if I don't know. I think that's good though. Like if I were to be if I were to be funded, I think I want to take partials, right? The reason why is because like if I'm once I'm funded with once I'm actually funded with the 100K account, I want to do that because it's just safe. It's just safe, and it allows you to secure your profits and also potentially secure even more profits. So like instead of you having this, you could have there's a potentiality of you getting all the way up to here. But yeah, I don't know how I would do it to minimize, because like at the end of the day, like if I do close half, let's say I would have closed half here, right? I'm trading on my 100K. I'm trading with 36 lots. Let's say I would have closed half, so that's 18. So I closed half at about 70 ticks. So I would have essentially have secured this amount, and I would have left the other 18 in break even. So I would have been in break even. But man, it's like that's a lot of freaking money right there. If, like I could just secure another 18. You know what I'm saying? And I would have secured this. So then it's like, are you willing to leave it open for another 80 ticks, which is like, how much is that? So it would have been this. So I would have secured this instead of just 1260. I don't know. We'll figure it out at that point. Honestly, right now my main focus is just to follow my risk management and yeah, man, just follow my risk management and just freaking pass the challenge. And I have to understand that it's gonna take time. So that's what I'm trying to get through. Just to show you guys, by the way, like what happened yesterday. I was essentially at this point that I'm at now yesterday. And man, look at this. I like first trade, right? First trade I took. This is the 18. It was a W. And I should have just called it there. But instead I took another trade. And then as you can see, it was a fairly small loss. Like it was only $27, which is like 0.27% on a 10K account. So it was a fairly small loss. I had the opportunity to call it a day there, but guess what? I took another trade. And so like now I lost 40. Now I'm like okay, now I'm in the mindset of like I'm trying to make this back so I could get back to here, when I should have just called it here. So then I took another one and I lost. I took another one. I broke even. I took another one. I broke even. I took another one and I lost. I took another one and I lost. Or is that from today? No, yeah, this is from that same day. So I took like 7 freaking trades, boys. So you can see, like my brain is cooked. So I have to like make adjustments to that. That's why I'm doing this little challenge thingy. So yeah, pretty much it for today, guys. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.